You are preparing an Azure virtual machine to host a SQL Server instance. You have provisioned two 1 terabyte P30 premium SSDs, each capable of 5,000 IOPS. The SQL Server workload requires 10,000 IOPS and enough space to store a 1.2 terabyte data file. You decide to use Windows storage spaces to manage the underlying storage. Please sequence the steps required to configure this storage correctly. The options are: A. Create a virtual disk with a stripe layout. B. Create a virtual disk with a mirror layout.
C. Create a volume. D. Create a virtual disk with a simple layout. E. Create a storage pool. To answer this, consider how Windows Storage Spaces aggregates physical disks into a unified management entity, how different layout types distribute data and performance, and the final step needed before an operating system can actually mount and utilize the storage for database files. In my view, the correct sequence starts with E, then A, then C. To meet the workload requirements of 10,000 IOPS and 1.2 terabytes capacity, you must aggregate the capacity and performance of your two P30 disks. The first step is creating a storage pool to combine the physical disks into a single management unit. Next, you create a virtual disk using the stripe layout. This configuration, similar to RAID 0, distributes data across both disks, allowing the workload to utilize the aggregate 10,000 IOPS and total 2 terabytes of storage.
Finally, you create a volume on that virtual disk so the operating system can mount the storage for your SQL data files. Mirroring is incorrect here because it provides redundancy at the cost of halving your available throughput, which would prevent you from hitting the IOPS target. A simple layout is also insufficient, as it would only utilize one disk, failing to reach the 10,000 IOPS threshold. For exam purposes, always analyze if a layout requires sacrificing performance or capacity to achieve its goals.